So let's wrap up here with our week 5 hot read. We're going to look ahead to next Sunday. We've been doing well with our hot reads, getting the best of some of these lines. I know that you are playing a couple early totals for next week. So what's one of the totals you like?
Okay, the first total I like is I like the Philadelphia Eagles, Carolina Panthers under 46 and a half. My model makes this game 43. First things first. Look, the Panthers, before they played the Dallas Cowboys, they were first in EPA per play. They were first in success rate. Obviously, they played the Cowboys team, which scoring 31.5 points per game, first in offensive success rate, fourth in EPA per play. But now they're dropping back down to playing the Eagles team, which is just 16th in EPA per play. We saw the Eagles put up a dominant performance on offense, scored 30 points against the Kansas City Chiefs, a defense which is probably the worst in the league. But I'm not expecting this team to reproduce that offensive output this week. They're dealing with injuries to Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata on the offensive line. And they have to face a Panthers defensive line, which is first in pass rush win rate. They get on 58% of the time, they're creating wins with their pass rush. And when I look at the Panthers offensively, I don't see how they're going to put up that same offensive output that they put on the Cowboys. The Eagles are a better defense. Like I said before, my model makes this game 43. So at 46 and a half, that's enough discrepancy for me to go under. We've already seen some movement on this. This actually opened up at 47, at 46 and a half. I still like the underplay. And yeah, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't do a lot of totals, but that makes sense. That definitely seems like a very defensive, close sort of game. So I feel like you're going to get some closing line value on that one as it continues to move. My first one, I'm sure is going to end up being a public play, but I'm going to grab it before the line moves in the direction. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against the Miami Dolphins. I'll take the favorites here. They're at 9.5-point favorites at some books. I think this is just going to rise by the time that we get to the game. We're going to get to 13, 13 and a half, 14 points. Everyone's going to be betting on the Bucs, but I want to bet on them before that line moves up, especially at 9.5. You get to stay away from that 10 points there. The Dolphins are terrible right now. They couldn't even show up against a DOA Colts team today. Dolphins had 3 points until meaningless drives at the end of the game. They scored twice on fourth down, but they finished the game with 203 yards the entire game. They had under 23 minutes of possession. They're just not doing anything right now. The defense has not been good enough. The offense is barely moving the ball. I don't feel like the Dolphins are going to be able to move the ball, even against Tampa Bay with that secondary in shambles. We talked about that, but this is a perfect spot for Tampa Bay to get right because you don't need a whole lot of secondary against Jacoby Brissett and an offense that can't really pass on you anyway. So Tom Brady has not been throwing touchdowns. It's time for Tom to get his numbers moving again. The Bucs, I think, finally are relieved to be done with these last couple crazy weeks, and Tom will be ready to move on past the New England game and put up a big number on the Dolphins here. So I'm expecting Tampa to score a lot of points. I definitely want to grab this one before the line rises.
Oh, yeah, I really like that one. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett, this Dolphins offense is struggling. They had a 38% success rate against the Colts. I just don't see how they keep up with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, like, and then when you look at the defense is really, I mean, they're struggling. Like Carson Wentz had his best game of the year this season. So I expect Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay offense to make a resurgence. They're not playing Bill Belichick this week. They're playing one of his proteges, but when this team isn't generating turnovers, they're really not stopping anybody. We saw it with the Raiders last week. We saw it with the Colts this week. So I agree with you. But you do want to get that at 9.5.
Yes.
If you take it, obviously 10 is a key number. For those of you who are not familiar with key numbers, if you were to look at the NFL frequency of point differential margins, 10 actually comes out 4.86% of the time, almost 5%. So you want to get that before it gets to 10, 10 and a half. You're getting it at 9, you find yourself in a good position.
And 13 and 14 are other key numbers, right? So if this line continues to rise to that way, you would want to get it before that as well. So grabbing it at 9.5, you're avoiding a bunch of those key numbers.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. My second pick of the day is I'm actually going to go. We spoke earlier about how the Washington football teams defense is truly overrated. They play the Saints this week. Look, this Washington football team secondary is really, really rough. We know Jameis Winston really hasn't had to throw his deep ball as much as he has in Tampa Bay. But I'm going to go over 43.5. I think this is a really sneaky total to play. We're starting to see Washington football team totals going over. Obviously, they went over against the Giants. They went over against the Falcons. The Falcons haven't been a great offense all year. So I think we have to get rid of our preconceived notions about what this defense is, because they're not slowing anybody down. And I think Sean Payton and this Saints offense they're gonna wake up this week. And I also think the Washington football team should be able to put up enough. 43 is like a really low total in today's NFL. I think the average total is around 47 or something like that. So I like to go over.
I like that one as well. So my other one for this week is not a sexy game, but I'd rather just make a little bit of money. So we're going to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars will host the Tennessee Titans. And I like the favorite here. The Titans are 3.5-point favorites. It's another one where I expect that line to rise as the week goes on. We already missed the 3-point key number. I don't think it's coming back. But earlier today, this morning, Sunday morning, that is, the Titans were -7. And then they went out and laid an egg and lost to the Jets, and we got the line cut in half. At -7, I wouldn't have loved it. But at 3.5, there's definitely value here. I'm not so worried about the Titans after that Jets game. The Titans had a monster day. They had 93 plays to only 60 for the Jets. Titans picked up 30 first downs. And remember, no Julio Jones, no A.J. Brown. And they still dominated anyways. The problem was they just made a ton of mistakes. They got sacked 7 times. They had 98 penalty yards. They were 5 of 19 on third down and 2 of 5 in the red zone. And even still, even without their 2-star receivers, they still came a missed field goal away at the end of the game from coming away with a tie. So I'm not worried about the Titans. The Jaguars stink. Urban Meyer, we're getting pictures of him out on the weekend. We can't be giving him weekends off. He's probably already getting his resume ready. He's getting a memo ready about, his next time to go hang out with his family again. Jacksonville is just not good. Trevor Lawrence is throwing the ball to the other team. Tennessee owns this team. They've won 7 out of 8 against Jacksonville, and 4 of those wins are by 21 points or more. Derrick Henry eats this team for breakfast, and then he goes back for seconds too. Like, this guy just destroys this team. The Titans are going to win with ease, an easy chance to get them back on track again. So I love them at -3.5 here.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. And also, I think you definitely want to get that before A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are announced, then, because if they're announcing, this line's going to go up.